Welcome to the Cryptosphere. This is Cryptogenic coming at you. Today is Thursday, October 21st at 1:09 p.m. here in Drizzly, California. First of all, I want to say happy birthday to my youngest brother, Charles. Charles, you're a joy and encouragement and blessing to my life, and I want to wish you the happiest of happy birthdays. I think you're 41 years old today. Yep, 41. Josh just turned 43. And I'm about to be 45 in a couple of weeks here. Time flies. It doesn't slow down for anybody. Got some important stuff to talk to you about today, but if you would just make me a promise that at the end of this video, if you like it, you'd click the like button and leave me a comment letting me know what you liked. And if you hated it, you would click the dislike button and leave me a comment letting me know what you hated. But either way, I'm simply asking you to give me some feedback, whether good or bad, positive or negative. It's all good. Just let me know what you think, and I appreciate it. And if you did like the comment, if you would subscribe to this channel, I would greatly appreciate it. And I also have a link to my free Telegram group in the description below, and I would love to invite you to check that out. I drop stuff in there all the time. What I want to talk to you about in this video today is what I see happening in the crypto sphere. I think Bitcoin is going to cool down and consolidate for a few days up to a couple of weeks. In the meantime, I think some money's getting ready to cycle into the alts, which is going to be strong. I want to talk to you about what my number one altcoin is, why I think it's the strongest chart in the crypto sphere, and why I am so heavily invested there. I haven't talked about it much on this channel. I have talked about it from time to time. Most people don't know unless they join my Patreon that it is my number one holding. And honestly, when you think about the crypto sphere in the long term, it doesn't really matter if you time the top of this bull run or not, because the value is there. And guys, we need to stop and recognize that we've already won. If you're in crypto, you've already won. You're an early adopter. The market cap is only $2.5 trillion, which is nothing in the grand scheme of things. I believe we're going to see a $100 trillion market cap within the next 5 to 7 years maximum. And so, you know, the whole market has to 40 to 50x before we are anywhere near revolutionary status. And the crypto market is a revolution in progress, and we're on the ground floor of it. So folks, this is what I mean by sleep in peace, wake in joy, walk in love, because there's so much FOMO in the crypto market. And by FOMO, the fear of missing out, I mean, if you watch any number of videos, you're always going to walk away thinking, man, I'm missing out. I should have that one. 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 I wish I had this one. I wish I had that one. I wish I had more of this. I wish I had more of that. And it's a trap, folks, because you can't have everything. You've just got to make a decision. What do you believe in? What do you like? What makes sense to you? And then do you. Play your game. You can't play anybody else's game. So with that said, I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not trying to get you to play my game. I'm simply describing my game to you. And if it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't resonate with you, great. But I'm asking you to make your own adult decisions based on the research that you do. I simply would love to be a part of that research. Maybe I'm one data point, but I'm not the only data point. All right. With that being said, let's jump into this Bitcoin chart and see what I'm talking about here. Why do I think that Bitcoin is going to consolidate for a while, for a few days up to a couple of weeks? And why does that mean money is coming into the altcoins? Well, first of all, from a weekly perspective, this macro chart, Bitcoin is strong. And it's, as I said before, the RSI is only halfway to the top of the line. So we got a ways to go before this thing tops out. Secondly, the MACDs are still bullish on the weekly. So we've got plenty of ways to go up before Bitcoin tops out. And I think there's a good chance that we're going to reach the top of this line over here. The longer it takes, the higher that number is going to be when we touch the top of the line. And so I personally think it's going to be somewhere around $250,000 by the end of the year. But let's take a look at a daily Bitcoin chart. And here's what I see on the daily, first of all, that we're consolidating within this box here. However, looking at the RSI, we've broken down out of this trend here in the RSI simply because we were just way overbought. On the daily chart, this is a smaller time frame than the weekly chart. Doesn't mean we're bearish. It just means it's got to cool down for a minute. On the daily, Bitcoin has to cool down for a minute, and the breakdown out of here could lead us to break down bearish out of this box here. Once again, it doesn't mean that we got rejected at the all-time high. We broke above the all-time high. We closed we closed one daily candle so far above the all-time high, and we could very well close another one above the all-time high, but it doesn't matter. The break from here simply means that we need to cool down. The MACDs are just way over the top. They need to cool down. It needs to come down a little bit, and that tells me the RSI could come down to this line. The price action over the next week or so, maybe even 2 weeks, could come down and revisit this line here around $56,000. All is well. We're still bullish. We haven't lost momentum in the market. It's not over. The bulls were not wrong. The bears were not right. All is well. And I can see that clearly on the macro chart. All is well. That a wick down to touch this line, or even to touch this line here, or even to touch this line here, like this is still bullish. Anything on this line, and this line, the bottom of it is 47,000. As long as we break, we bounce there, and I don't think we're going down that low. But I think that we could have a wick come down to the mid-50s, 56,000 area, kind of this line of support right here. But we shall see. But what that means is that as Bitcoin kind of cools down and the RSI comes down a little bit and the MACDs cool off, now some money is going to flow into the altcoins. And what is the evidence for that? Well, let's look at my number one asset, and my number one asset is Cake Token. I mean, I believe in this junk. I'm holding this junk. I think Binance Smart Chain is the bomb. I mean, if you're holding any type of Ethereum-based DeFi asset, just try taking profits on it and see what kind of gas fees you got to pay. I took some profit on my Y-axis recently, and I told you about Y-axis. The gas fee was $165 in Ethereum. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. But it's not so with Binance Smart Chain, and PancakeSwap is solid, just as BNB is solid. And so my lowest target for Cake is $70 before the end of the year. My highest target for Cake is $862 between now and the end of the cycle. I need to stop saying end of the year and start saying end of the cycle, because I can't time the cycle that precisely to say it's going to end on December 31st. The cycle could go into first quarter next year, maybe even a little bit into second quarter next year. We're just going to have to simply wait and see how this goes. But either way, honestly, I'm not going to sell much of my Cake. Even if it tops out at the very top, I'm definitely going to hold on to at least 50% of my Cake for the long term, simply because I believe in this junk. All right, but let's look at Cake against BTC. Now, I haven't drawn any lines on this chart yet. I actually just opened it up. And what you can see is that against BTC, Cake has been steadily losing value. Where are we? So from this peak, this was in August, we lost 45% against BTC. And from this peak, which was in April when the whole thing crashed, we lost a total of 63% against BTC. So we've been downtrending for some time against BTC. However, I mean, if you look at this move here that started in March, we made 407% against BTC, which means Cake outperformed BTC by 400%. And even sitting where it is, we're sitting at 93%, outperforming BTC by 93%, which is epic. However, here's what I'm seeing in the RSI. Actually, I'm going to go to a weekly chart. I thought I was in a weekly chart, but I'm not. Let's look at it in a weekly chart. Actually, we don't see it yet. We just see the RSI flattening on the weekly and starting very slightly to turn up. But when we go to the daily, look what's happening. On the daily chart, we've made a higher low in the RSI. which is an indication that the momentum is reversing, that the downward momentum is coming to an end, and that the upward momentum is beginning to move. And that means that, notice this is called bullish divergence. The price is still going down, but the RSI is already going up. So the chart is telegraphing that over the next couple of weeks, we're going to see a turnaround, and we're going to see Cake Token outperform Bitcoin. So what I'm seeing is like there's going to be these like give and takes, like Bitcoin pumps and the alts stall. And so Bitcoin outperforms the alts. And the Bitcoin consolidates and the alts pump. And then the alts outperform Bitcoin. And then Bitcoin pumps again and the alts stall. And so if you were able to time the market perfectly, you could do this. You'd buy something like Cake here, and then you'd sell it for Bitcoin here, and then you'd buy it back from Bitcoin here, and then you'd sell it and buy it and sell it. I don't do that because I can't time the market perfectly enough to do that. It's just, it'd be nice to be able to do that, but it's beyond my pay grade. Just to be honest, I can't do it. But I see that the MACDs are bottoming out. The MACDs flattened, they've bottomed, and now they're turning up. So the MACDs, first was the RSI, it made a higher low. Now the MACDs are turning to turn bullish. The next thing to happen is the price is going to turn bullish. So I look at these BTC charts to analyze what is this chart going to do against BTC. Polkadot, I talked about this in yesterday's video, just kind of looking at the depth of this triangle, this symmetric triangle that it's been in. When it breaks through from here, it's going to outperform Bitcoin by a huge amount, between now and the end of the year. But in the short term, I think what we're seeing is that the money is getting ready to transition into the alts, not permanently. So what I'm expecting, for instance, is against Bitcoin, XRP could touch this line of support and then break out towards the top of this pattern. And then Bitcoin breaks out again. It comes back down to this line of support. And then eventually XRP breaks out of here and starts making huge profits. And that's when altcoin season happens, whenever that is. So same thing with LTC. It bounced here. We're making higher lows in the RSI. That's bullish divergence, but we're still making lower lows in the price action. And so, so I'm expecting, what I'm really looking for Litecoin to do is come up and touch the top of this line again, and then probably break down again, maybe even come to the bottom here before breaking out. And maybe, not such a long time frame, because I expect it to happen hopefully before the end of the year. But we shall see. All right, folks, so my pick of the day is Cake Token. Cake Token is strong. I'm staking it on PancakeSwap for 73% APY. There are now 30 assets in the Cryptogenic portfolio. All of my patrons have that portfolio, the assets, as well as my profit levels for all of those assets. My Gold and Platinum members have 24-hour access to my charts here for all of those assets as well, and any others that they request. So if you're interested in that, check it out. At any rate, listen, folks, when I say sleep in peace, wake in joy, walk in love, what I mean by that is don't worry. Don't think so short term. Don't spend too much time worrying about how to take profits exactly at the top of this market. I guarantee you we're not going to time it perfectly. It's not going to happen. We're doing projections. We're doing predictions. We're doing chart analysis. We're doing trend analysis. But none of those things are going to give us a perfect timing and a perfect top. We're going to take profit on the way up, but we're never, and this is the key, this is one of my primary crypto rules, never sell everything of anything. And in my next video, I'll explain why. All right, folks, like I said, if you like this video, then like it. If you did not like it, please give me a thumbs down. If you liked it, give me a comment telling me what you liked about it. If you did not like it, please give me a comment telling me what you hated about this video. I appreciate both kinds of feedback. And above all, make it your aim to sleep in peace every night, wake in joy every morning, and walk in love every day. This is Cryptogenic, signing out.